What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Now today I walked up on an opportunity that was almost too good to pass up. So we actually took in a 2018 base Sport Rubicon, and whenever I say base, I mean base. I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to compare the cheapest Wrangler you can buy versus what is the most expensive Wrangler you can buy. Alright guys, so it's a little windy here and I'm still at work, so I'm going to try to make this one a little bit quicker than our usual videos, but this is too great of an opportunity to pass up to give you guys a direct comparison of the Rubicon Sport versus the Rubicon 392. Now obviously there is a major gap in price between the two of these. There's a major gap in equipment, features, and functionality, believe it or not. So to just get started, we'll go over the exterior. Of course, the Rubicon 392 comes standard with the 33-inch tires. This one's got 35s on it now, but it does come with a 2-inch lift even over the Rubicon suspension, and that's definitely evident here. You can definitely tell. Aside from that, we've got the aggressive styling for the actual hood scoop. We've got the 392 badging, the bronze accents. We've got color match fender flares, high-rise fender flares. We've also got the rock sliders down here. Color match top as well to go along with that. Steel rear bumper, full LED light group. And of course it is optional to get the fully integrated trail camera, front-facing trail camera, as well as the black grille. So to go beyond that and to step over to the Sport, you can see you've got the standard black fenders, the standard black wheels, the steel wheels. You get the standard Goodyear, I believe they're 30-inch tires. You also get the standard front and rear bumpers with the plastic covers. This one, of course, is a soft top. You do miss out on the rock sliders. And really and truly, for the exterior, it's pretty self-evident, so you can really compare it yourself with your own eyes. One of the biggest difference, I think, aside from the motors, is really just the interior, and it's a drastic change. I'm gonna jump into the Sport right now and show you what you get for $39,000. So just jumping inside, guys, of course this one is a 2018, and it's actually got about 27,000 miles on it. Just to jump into the interior, you can see we've got the manual transmission here. We also have the manual locks, the manual windows, and even the key fob for this one has no buttons. And one of the strangest things, this is probably the only vehicle on the market that doesn't have power locks, power windows, but you've still got push to start, which is pretty funny. And we're gonna go ahead and start this one up in a minute. You got all your AC controls laid out right here. You've got the Uconnect 3 as your head unit with your normal functions for Bluetooth, Sirius XM, and your compass. Of course, you've got the standard cloth seats. And then for your transfer case, of course, 4-wheel drive. You've got your 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and 4-wheel low selection. To go beyond that, you've got your standard cruise control, your standard infotainment display controls, and your standard display here, which looks quite a bit different. Now, as you guys can see here, the display is laid out quite a bit differently as compared to my Rubicon 392. Much smaller display, much more of an analog feel, which is still good. It goes back to the basics of Jeep. And then to go on to the rest of the interior, of course, you've got cloth seats in the back. You've got the view of your soft top right there, which is pretty convenient, I will say that. And the soft tops now really aren't as loud, especially if you get the premium soft top, but just never really been one of my favorites on the JLs or even the JKs. For a TJ, I love the soft top, and anything beyond that, especially 4-door, I feel like it's just too much material to flop around, even though the material is made quite a bit tighter. And then, of course, we all know with the standard Wrangler, it does come with the 3.6-liter Pentastar, an absolutely amazing motor, and this one is paired with the 6-speed manual transmission, which makes it a little bit more fun. So now that you've seen the interior on this, let's jump over to the Rubicon 392 and see what you get for paying an extra $40,000. And again, guys, I'm sorry for the wind. Both of these are absolutely filthy, by the way. I haven't had a chance to clean my Rubicon in, seems like over 2 weeks, just because of the snow, the ice that we've had here, and they've laid the salt down like no other. So stepping over into the Rubicon 392, One of the first things you're of course going to notice is the Rubicon 392 stitched into the seats. Of course, we've got the hardtop here, so it gives you a little bit of a different view. And let's go ahead and step in. It's really cold here. So just to compare the interior, of course you can see we've got the Uconnect 8.4-inch display here. We do have quite a few different controls here in terms of climate controls and your media controls for your head unit. Once you step below here, of course, you'll see the shifter for your 8-speed automatic transmission. And then you'll also see your shifter for your part-time transfer case. So the difference between the standard transfer case to this one is you do have 4-wheel high auto, 4-wheel high part-time, neutral, and 4-wheel low. To go beyond that, since it is a Rubicon, you still get the front and rear lockers. You also get the sway bar disconnect as well as off-road plus. Once you come to the steering wheel here, you'll see we have a few different controls here. We also have our standard cruise, and this side looks almost the same, but we've also got adaptive cruise right there. One thing you'll see behind the steering wheel is going to be your paddle shifters. So you do have your paddle shifters on the actual steering wheel, which this is the first Jeep Wrangler to have that. One big difference in steering wheels is actually the shape. So this is the SRT inspired steering wheel. And I actually believe this was on the Mojave first, as well as the front hood was as well. But they've pulled a few pieces from it just to make it work, especially with that hydro guide system to really filter out all the water if you do get into a situation where you needed high clearance water fording. Of course, with this, you've got power locks, power windows, and these do have auto high beams, which is pretty cool. You'll see another feature right here for your actual performance exhaust, which comes in handy if you still have your factory exhaust. And then you've got your hill descend control. Just to go beyond that, of course, you do have the blind spot monitors. You also have the garage door openers. And then you have your assist SOS button with your auto dimming rear view mirror. And I'll start it up here so you guys can get an idea of the LCD display compared to the base. Now you can see there's not as many analog gauges on this, so it is already set up differently, and this entire piece is actually a screen for the 392. So you can see with the full LCD display, it does show you quite a few different things, and of course, low fuel level as usual. It does have your 4-wheel drive indicator over here on this side, as well as your RPM gauges. You can set up your LCD display to show you quite a few different things. This is just how I have mine set up for now. Aside from that, you've got your standard speedometer right there. Now this does have bronze stitching all the way through, and it's pretty apparent in a few other places as well. This does have the Alpine sound system with the 10-inch subwoofer in the back, which is a pretty cool feature. Of course, with any hardtop for the Jeeps, you're going to have the freedom panels, which are easily taken down just by simply pulling this, twisting this, as well as the back too. And then you're actually able to lift it up right there. Simple and easy, makes it really easy whenever you do want to have a little bit of extra fun. Some of the other features you do get are really placed in the head unit. So of course, you got your off-road plus. And once you engage off-road plus, I have mine set up to turn on my front-facing camera. And then all Rubicons, all Wranglers come standard with your rear-facing camera. One cool feature a lot of people don't know about is your front camera cleaner, which is pretty cool. It's always fun to get an unsuspecting target as they walk by. Then everybody has the rear-facing camera in all of the Wranglers now, which is a standard feature. To go beyond that, we have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay capabilities, which are absolutely awesome. Got heated seats, the heated steering wheel. To go beyond that, you've also got your off-road pages, which do come in handy whenever you're taking this thing off-road. It'll tell you your pitch, your roll, how heavily your 4-wheel drive is engaged, if your lockers are engaged, a bunch of different little features to show you what's going on. And you can see as you go through here, you can go through your drivetrain, your accessory gauges, your pitch and roll, or your trail cam, which is pretty neat. Now this dash is actually a smooth finish, and it is granite as well, the same as the Sport. But with the smooth finish, you do have the different bezels here as well, and they definitely stand out a little bit more with the contrast stitching. And that really covers it for the interior. Now to go back to the exterior, of course, you guys know, even for the actual drivetrain, this is equipped with the 6.4 liter SRT motor. And then aside from that, we do have CV axles in the front. And of course, it's still solid axles front and rear. We've got the Dana 44 HD front and rear. And then we have the part-time transfer case. I believe it's geared at 2 to 7.2. And then our actual axles are geared at 3 to 7.3, which is lower, or actually higher, compared to the normal Rubicon. But with the extra torque and the 6.4, the 410s are not really needed until you go with a little bit bigger tire, a little bit bigger lift. As for now, with just the 35s, it's definitely not needed. So with the Sport, going over the similar features, we actually have the Dana 44 in the rear and the Dana 30 high pinion in the front. Obviously, to compare the suspension, you can see here we have the Fox shocks, and it's already lifted 2 inches over the factory with the Rubicon 392, which would be a total of 3-inch lift, actually 3.25 inches lift over the Sport suspension. And for mine, of course, I already have straight popped it and deleted the exhaust, but you can see from here, you can get a better look at that suspension as well as that Dana 44 rear axle. And these are the Dana 44 HD wide tracks. And I've had the same rear axle in my last Rubicon. Of course, it wasn't the 392, so it had the 410s, Dana 44 wide tracks, front and rear. And they were absolutely amazing. I ended up running 40s on them stock for a while, and they didn't break, and I beat the heck out of it. This one does have the tow group. It was optional to add from the factory whenever you're ordering it. And this one, to give you a shot underneath, does not have the tow group, and you can see how that muffler hangs down. Now this definitely gives you an idea of the clearance difference between a stock Sport versus a stock Rubicon 392. Almost stock. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I'm sorry this video may have not been as fun or as informative as usual, but I felt like this was too good of an opportunity to be able to pass up. So that's your fair chance of looking at the $39,000, $38,000 Rubicon versus the $78,000, $79,000 Rubicon. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is it worth the price difference? You saw the features for yourself. You saw what's added or what is lacking. If you guys do like this video, let me know. If you like this kind of content, I have a few other vehicles that we can compare it against and even just go in depth on some other pretty cool vehicles. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think, and tell me what you want to see. But until next time, just take it easy.